Hello everyone, welcome here to AGBCars. I'm Aaron Bell, and this video is going to be talking about the rule and regulation changes for the 2015 Formula 1 season. Now this video is the first video on this channel, AGBCars. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing more videos about the Formula 1 news and Formula 1, and not only Formula 1, also just the motoring industry itself for road cars and everything else in between. So please subscribe and like the videos. So we're gonna start about talking about the changes to the 2015 regulations for Formula 1. This is going to be based on a statement that was released by the FIA on, I believe it was the 27th of June 2014, and there's just a couple of changes, some big, some small, to the rules and regulations for the 2015 Formula 1 season. So the first article in it is about the power units, the engines. It states that the number of engines permitted by each driver in a season will be 4 instead of 5. So this means that currently in 2014, every driver is allowed 5 power units, 5 engines in the whole season. So they have to last the whole season. So when this drops to 4, it means that reliability will be more of a player in the season, and obviously it will still be the same about you will have a penalty then if you use 5th and 6th and 7th engine in the season, and the penalty for that, so the penalty that you will get if you exceed the number of power units, will be changed. Currently it's you have to start in the pit lane if you change your engine over the course of the weekend. However, now that has been changed, so you have to start at the back of the grid. So this means that you will not be able to change the cars, because now if you're going to start in the pit lane, you're allowed to change some of the settings in the car that might aid you in the actual race. So the FIA have decided that they're going to make you start at the back of the grid. But this rule about the 4 engines, it will only be the case if there are up to 20 races in the 2015 season, because the calendar has yet to be finalised. So if there are more than 20 races in the season, the number will increase back to 5, which makes sense, because 4 engines would be a push, even for Mercedes being a very reliable engine to last them the whole season if there's more than 20 races. Next is about aerodynamic testing. The number of wind tunnel runs will be reduced from 80 hours per week to 65 hours per week, and wind on hours will be reduced, and 2 periods of tunnel occupancy will be allowed in one day rather than only one, but you will only be able to use one wind tunnel in 1 year. So this is about having less time in wind tunnels to test aero parts of the car off track before bringing them to an event. So less wind tunnel hours, and you will only be able to use one wind tunnel in a year. So you will have to pick one at the start of the year, and you will not be able to use multiple wind tunnels. And then on-track testing as well. Pre-season tests, there will still be 3 4-day tests in Europe in 2015. There won't be any pre-season tests outside Europe. If you remember, this season we're in Bahrain for 2 tests, so they'll all be back in Europe now, but there will only be 2 tests of 4 days in 2016. So testing being reduced in the coming future. So 2016 it'll be down to 2 tests of 4 days instead of 3 tests of 4 days, as it is now and as it will be next year in 2015. And then in-season tests, There will be 2 in-season tests of 2 days each in Europe instead of the current 4 in 2014. And 2 of these 4 days must be reserved for young drivers. So you cannot have your race drivers in the car for more than 2 days in the in-season tests. Parc Ferme rule will also extend. So currently Parc Ferme applies from the moment the car leaves the pits at the beginning of qualifying. So from then on, there is a certain amount of settings of the setup that you are not allowed to change then for the rest of the weekend. This now extends and will apply from the start of free practice 3 on Saturday morning. So this means that there will be much more of an emphasis now on Friday testing to get all the data that you will need for the weekend, because you will not be able to change anything after the free practice 3 on Friday morning. There was also a proposal of banning tyre blankets for 2015, but they will be kept at this time because there's a safety element of this, of starting on cold tyres. It would not be safe, but the issue will be re-examined if and when the wheel and tyre sizes increase. This is something else drivers have been calling on wider tyres to be introduced into the sport to create more closer and exciting racing, because more wider tyres give more mechanical grip, so a lesser emphasis on the aero grip. So this means that cars will be able to follow each other closely, and then this, they hope, would translate into more closer and exciting racing. The personnel curfew as well is also extended. So this is the curfew that the team mechanics have on Friday night. This will be extended from 6 to 7 hours in 2015. So currently 2014 there are 6 hours on Friday night that you are not allowed to work on the car. So this is just trying to make sure that team personnel have sufficient rest, and but this will increase then to 8 hours in 2016. So you'll be not allowed to work on the car for 8 hours in 2016 during Friday night. So this, I suppose, might put team personnel under more pressure in some circumstances if the car is involved in a major incident in practice on Friday. There is then obviously less time for you to repair the car. So that might increase pressure on personnel. So that's just my view. And the big one then that everyone's talking about is the safety car restarts. So there will now be a standing start off the grid after a safety car period. So the safety car will be used just as it is now. So there's an incident on track, safety car goes out, everyone forms behind it, goes around the track until the track is cleared again. But then when the safety car comes into the pits, the cars will go around onto the grid and line up in their spots after the back markers have unlapped themselves. So it might take a bit longer, safety car periods will extend, but it's supposed to give more drama because the start of the race is pretty much the most exciting part. So this is trying to bring that into the middle of the race as well, if a safety car comes out. But this standing restart will not be carried out if the safety car is used within 2 laps of the start of the race, or if there is less than 5 laps at the end of the race. Also, a few technical regulation changes for the 2015 season. The nose of the cars changed in 2012. They introduced the stepped noses that are deemed as ugly. I suppose that they don't look very nice, and the whole point of that was making cars safer. So the front of the car was lower to so if there was a side-on collision, a T-bone collision, that it would be safer for both drivers. But this will be re-examined. The noses, the regulations for the noses will be changed to ensure improved safety and to provide more aesthetically pleasing structures, is what it says in the statement. So this is, I presume, so this is obviously just making cars safer and more attractive at the same time. That's excellent. And a number of new regulations concerning skid blocks to ensure that they are made of a lighter material such as titanium and are better contained. So there's also talk about putting titanium in the wooden plank under the car to create sparks coming off the cars, just like there were in the 80s and the 90s. So create more of a spectacle for the sport. So that's also on the table. Brake discs will also rotate at the same speed of the wheels, and a 2-stage wheel fastener retaining system is now mandatory. So that's more of the safety aspect, ensuring that the wheel fastener is stronger, so less chances of the wheel coming off the car in an impact. So that's just a rundown of the changes to the 2015 Formula 1 sporting regulations, as well as technical regulations. A couple of changes, some big, some small, as I said. So let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel for more videos to come in the near future, and like this video and all the rest. Thank you.